Welcome in, everyone, to the High School Spotlight. I'm your host, Garrett Wolverd. It's been an exciting start to the football season, and we've got plenty of highlights from the gridiron on today's program. We'll also catch up with two of the most accomplished volleyball coaches in the state as Jessica Chatelier of Dominican and Terry Hebert of Teurlings Catholic preview their seasons with us. Our reporter Spencer Verrett hits the ground running with a feature on cross-country star Aiden Monaster of Parkview Baptist, and later, with a hurricane bearing down on Louisiana, we'll talk about the LHSAA's preparedness plans and how they're keeping student-athletes safe from Mother Nature. We're off and running after this break.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
So it's going to come down to this.
Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play!
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Calvary and Oak Grove opened today's show with a dynamite matchup between a pair of state champions. Calvary Baptist and Coach Rodney Gwynn won the Division III Select title last fall, going 13-0. Oak Grove captured the Division IV Non-Select Championship, winning their fourth state title in the last 5 years. Friday night's game featured two of the best quarterbacks in the state, with Jackson Bradley of Oak Grove and Abram Wardell of Calvary. Something had to give as the Cavaliers and Tigers squared off in Shreveport.
Senior running back and Texas Longhorn commit James Simon is poised for another big season. Oak Grove quarterback Jackson Bradley loses a handoff and then makes something out of nothing, rushing towards the end zone. Freshman Fred McDaniel with the stop for the Cavaliers. Calvary on offense now, and Simon jukes out a defender, rushing for 20 yards and the first down. Simon had 15 plays on the night that went for over 10 yards. Quarterback Abram Wardell hooks up with Brent Bigelow, and the junior wideout has a nose for the end zone, scoring the game's first touchdown. Wardell had a monster night, throwing for 417 yards and 7 touchdowns, including this dime to Colby Thomas that put Calvary up 14-0. Thomas wasn't done, catching 8 total passes for 138 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Cavaliers' home opener. Later in the game, Simon continues his Houdini act, disappearing from the clutches of defenders and hitting top speed on the outside for a scoring run that stretches 64 yards to the end zone. Simon racked up 361 total yards in the win over Oak Grove, 255 rushing and 106 receiving. The Cavaliers win their 15th game in a row, dating back to last year's undefeated season under Coach Rodney Gwynn. Calvary looks to have all the pieces in place for another long playoff run.
It's not often you see a season opener with 15 touchdowns and 100 combined points. Congratulations to Calvary Baptist for getting the win. Coming up next, we'll talk with Dominican head volleyball coach Jessica Chatelier and hear how her squad plans to defend their state championship. You're watching the High School Spotlight.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Back inside the LHSAA studios, the volleyball program at St. Mary's Dominican in New Orleans is known statewide for its accomplishments. Coach Jessica Chatelier has won 4 straight state titles, and her daughter Cam was the most outstanding player at last year's tournament. But Cam graduated and is now with the beach volleyball program at LSU. Let's hear from Coach on how Dominican plans to chase their 5th title in a row.
And we're joined by the head coach for Dominican Volleyball now, Jessica Chatelier. Coach, thanks for taking the time. Just give us an idea of how the season has started in 24.
It's been a great start to the year. We played 2 matches last week to start off our regular season, and we really started off against 2 great opponents. And it was a battle in both of them. We went 4 sets with Ben Franklin, and it was close sets throughout the match. And our girls really did come through in the end in some pressure situations. So it was nice to see. And then we played against Vanderbilt Catholic, who was also a very strong team. Both teams we played had hitters that are ranked in the top of Louisiana. And I think our defense really handled it well. And, you know, we're trying to figure out this year who's our person to go to put the ball away. And it was nice to see that it was different people each match. So it was great to see.
Coach, you're coming off a string of championships. Just talk about some of the returning student athletes, the veterans who are making your program as good as it is.
So we have, returning to our starting lineup, we have our starting middle from last year, Zoe Mitchell, who has been a great leader for us physically on the court. She has been one for us to look to put the ball away when we need it. She's a strong force defensively and offensively for us. So it's great to see her returning. Our defense is pretty solid from last year. We return our libero. She's been our starting libero for the past 2 years. Lauren Pipitone. She was also named best player in the state of Louisiana for the preseason for Max Prep. So she has been a constant for us the past 2 years, and she's really taken on that leadership role and kind of being the one to vocally and physically lead us on the court. We also return Maya Bruglio and Aurora Tortorich to our defense, who both had experience all last year and have really been the calming factor for our group to let us know, you know, we're good. So we did lose a lot last year. We lost our starting setter for the past 2 years. And we also lost both outside hitters and one of our middles. So we took a hit as far as people that had been in our lineup for the past 2 years. But, these girls have stepped in and have waited their turn to get out on the court, and they're really taking advantage of it.
Now that you have a chance to look back on it, how special was it coaching your daughter, especially with her capping her career with the Most Outstanding Player award?
It was amazing. I'm so thankful for that opportunity. We definitely had our ups and downs through the time that she was here. It was a learning process for both of us, but I've been coaching volleyball now for almost 22 years, and to be able to have that experience with her and something that I have so much passion for, to see it in her and also to see her be able to take that to the next level has just been one of the best experiences I could have asked for.
I believe last year, 4 out of the 5 championships were won by schools from the greater New Orleans area. What is it about volleyball down near the Crescent City that makes it so dominant?
I just feel like volleyball from New Orleans is just gritty. I don't know how else to put it. And Louisiana in general, I feel like we play a grittier type of volleyball. So I just feel like these New Orleans schools, these girls just kind of know how to scrap and know how to get in there and just do what they need to do to get the job done. So I've really enjoyed coaching our kids. We're not big. By no means do we have these girls that can pound the ball. They just really have to find ways to play defense better than everyone else and have better ball control than everybody else. So it's just a different style of volleyball that we have to play around here. And it's fun to watch.
Looking at your schedule, you'll always have a tough district to play in, but you don't shy away from tough non-district foes either.
No, our philosophy is go play the best. If we truly want to get better every single day, we've got to go out and seek those opponents that are going to make us better. So, we may take some hits during the year, but, as long as it's a loss that we can learn from and we can figure out what our weaknesses are, that puts us in the best position moving into late October and early November. That's the way we want to play our season. So, we started off with 2 top 20 programs and the last week. And, this week we're taking a little hit with the storm, but we were moving into 2 more opponents that are high level. And, every week we play somebody that's really good. So we want to make sure we stay at that level.
Last one for you. As the reigning state champions, do you have to talk with your student athletes about playing with a target on their backs? How do you address that?
That's a constant talk in our gym. And I think they realize it and they know that everyone's going to bring their best game against them. So our motto really is to just bring that intensity and that energy that we need to keep moving forward every day to practice and every time we set foot in the gym, because we are going to be a target and we have to make sure that we continue to be a moving target, because that's the hardest thing to hit.
Great stuff. Coach, thanks for joining us today on the LHSAA Network.
Thank you.
Dominican and their district rival Mount Carmel have combined for the last 10 state championships. Coach Chadelier's team has begun the season 2-0 with wins over top 20 Ben Franklin and Vanderbilt Catholic. They have 20 matches left on their schedule, with 2 against the Mount Carmel Cubs later in October. Coming up next, we'll see one of the most dynamic running backs in Louisiana as Xavier Ford of Leesville opens the season with 300 yards against the Sam Houston Broncos. This is the High School Spotlight.
No one ever thinks they'll be in this position. Buying medication online could put you here, or here, or here. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl kills. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Medical professionals can't even tell the difference between a real pill and one that is fake. At least not until they do your autopsy. Don't take anything online that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Week 1 of the high school football season saw some exemplary performances, and the Leesville-Sam Houston game put on a historic rushing display. Xavier Ford of Leesville is coming off back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons, while Drew Bailey of Sam Houston earned all-district honors and led the Broncos to the playoffs last fall. On Friday night, both Ford and Bailey rushed for 300 yards, and both scored 6 touchdowns. Here's a closer look at Leesville and Sam Houston.
The Broncos of Sam Houston are looking to capitalize on last year's 7-win season and trip to the playoffs. Leesville hopes to flatten most opponents with their vaunted running game behind all-state running back Xavier Ford. In the first quarter, Wampus Cats quarterback Trell Broom looks to move the chains with a long pass downfield, but number 15, Luke Fuselier, snatches the 50-50 ball out of the air and forces the game's first turnover. Broncos quarterback Gavin Stout hands off to running back Drew Bailey. Number 9 does the rest of the work, running into the end zone to begin a big night on offense. Bailey, a 5'9", 185-pound senior, racked up over 300 rushing yards and found the end zone 6 times against Leesville, breaking the pile and taking it forward with him on this highlight. Stout does his best Pat Mahomes impression, tossing a sidearm score to number 5, Gavin Brode. The backup quarterback is 6'1", 210, and a big target when used in the receiving game. The score was 28-20 at the half, and Leesville kept applying pressure with Xavier Ford running the rock. Ford is listed at 5'11", 190, and loves contact. The senior rushed for 310 yards and 6 touchdowns in the game. The Wampus Cats scored 3 touchdowns in the second half to keep it close, but Sam Houston's passing game helped put the game away. Ford rushed for an eye-popping 2,400 yards and 32 touchdowns last season and looks to be a force this fall. Senior wideout Drew Drenay moved the chains with some quick receptions in the flats, advancing to the 20-yard line. Stout hung in the pocket long enough to find Drenay wide open at the goal line, helping the Broncos win 56-41 over Leesville.
Depending on the weather, Leesville is scheduled to host their home opener against Tioga this week. Sam Houston is headed to Lafayette for a big matchup with Turlings Catholic. Again, hurricane permitting, these teams from the Lake Charles area will try and get their Week 2 games in. Up next, we try to keep pace with cross-country champion Aiden Monaster and Parkview Baptist. Stay tuned.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Welcome back into the High School Spotlight. The LHSAA Cross Country Championships are truly a test of endurance for our student athletes. Each November in Natchitoches, the best runners in Louisiana converge on Northwestern State's campus. Aiden Monaster is a senior at Parkview Baptist and the reigning champion in Division III. Monaster crossed the finish line 12 seconds ahead of his next competitor and helped lead Parkview to their third consecutive state title. Our Spencer Verrett filed this report.
Parkview Baptist has been steadily growing their cross-country program over the last few years. Head coach Chase Duplessis is now ready to see his teams soar to new heights.
Well, we had a lot of kids that came in and they put in a lot of hard days. You know, the heat here is obviously no joke, and so they came out here, they worked, they put in their time. And a bunch of the kids, are exceptional, and so they've really grinded through, and they've done other camps and different things, just trying to get prepared for what they have, going into the season.
The Eagles have brought home the last 3 state championships on the boys' side. Senior Aiden Monaster has been a part of all 3 teams and is ready for more in 2024.
It's been great. I guess we kind of stepped up training a lot. Our team has grown tremendously, especially on the girls' side, and we're building up our boys' side to see what we can do at state and try to four-peat maybe. It's been great training with everyone, having some extra people to train with, especially after last track season, me kind of being on my own with injury and getting through it, trying to get to the national level. But I think it's been pretty great this summer to step up our training.
So, you got Aiden, who just interviewed there, but you also have Reed Boudreaux, who's going to be our number 2 guy. He's been solid. He's competed. He's scored every year these last few years at state as well, following right behind him. And then we have Andrew Watts, who's run very, very hard. He actually set a PR this week at the course in these terrible conditions, which, is very surprising.
On the girls' side, the Eagles have made the state meet the past few years, finishing in the top 10. But some new additions are ready to challenge for a state crown.
It's been awesome. The team is way bigger than it has been, and all these people are just so fun to be around, so encouraging, and love the sport. And so it's just been great to see everyone working so hard and doing so well this summer.
And then you have the Kramer girls on the other side that are just pretty dominant. They continue to do stellar things. I've been watching. First it was Molly. Molly was putting in incredible times. Early on, she was beating kids when she was in elementary school, and others were not. And Lucy's coming along and actually kind of passed Molly up these last few years as far as time goes. I know they're very competitive, but it's always neck and neck with those two.
The team practices at Highland Road Park, a place where events are held almost every weekend and prepares runners for the state meet at Northwestern State.
I don't know. It's just where I've grown up running. Every year we just come out and race at Highland, and I feel like I've been running on this course for I don't know. I think I've been running on this course since 3rd grade maybe. And so just the feeling that it brings, it's so much fun, and getting to race these people every year is, awesome.
Aiden, heading into his senior year, has been running all his life and is ready to leave his legacy at Parkview.
I mean, my parents were kind of, I guess I was in the stroller, and when they were running the Louisiana Marathon and stuff like that, then the 5K, and I just got out the stroller some points and ran. But I think that's probably 4, 3, or something like that. But really, I joined like a running team. Maybe I was 6, and then joined a triathlon team. And I was like 8, and that kind of stepped up from there, and just the love of running grew on me.
The Parkview program has several high-profile meets coming up in Texas and Mississippi before competing in the Metro Championships in Baton Rouge on November 2nd. Will Monastere and the Eagles make it 4 titles in a row? Tune into the cross-country championships on the LHSAA network later this fall to find out. After the break, with Francine headed for Louisiana, we'll hear from the LHSAA and how they get ahead of storms with hurricane preparedness. This is the High School Spotlight.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
We're joined in studio now by Executive Director of the LHSAA, Eddie Bonine. Eddie, with the storms and the safety of our student athletes being paramount right now, what kind of plans are in place with the LHSAA in front of Francine?
Well, anytime we have threats of severe weather like we're seeing right now, we are very proactive. We work cooperatively with the respective parishes and the superintendents, the principals of the membership. And obviously there's a number of acronyms involved. The Officials Association is affected, the Coaches Association is affected, obviously the Athletic Association, in our case, are affected, but we look forward with the superintendents and principals of those respective parishes, in this case all along Interstate 10, that whole entire corridor, are either not in session today and or are going to be in a position where they're not going to be able to participate or even practice, if you will, prior to it, which makes sense, right? And we wait and see on the severity of the storm, the remnants of the storm, because the storm is one piece. What happens after the storm is the second piece. About the water and flooding. So we try to be as common sense as we can be. And the most common questions that we receive are about rescheduling the events. Everybody thinks football, but we have other sports going on as well right now. So safety is the main concern, transportation is the main concern. And if there, unfortunately, like other storms, if there is severe damage that results in it, and students and or athletes are going to be out of school for a period of time, common sense, if their homes are destroyed or something, in fact, they need to move somewhere else in the state, I have a stamp in my desk that says hurricane. And we immediately get that out, work with them cooperatively, get them back in school someplace, and we try not to let the storm affect anything that has to do with what they're going to do in participation. So we have all the safeguards. We're pretty good at it, in my opinion, as are all the Louisianans when it comes to storms like this. We don't want to be a deterrent. We want to try to make the transition as good as we can prepare for what's the old saying, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's kind of where we are today.
What role do you and your assistant directors play after the storm?
Communication, assessment, working with not only with department acronyms that have to do with that statewide, the governor's office and other areas if you could regard to the severity and assessment, and again use common sense and kind of follow those leads. But what we learned, one of the in my opinion, one of the silver linings, if there was one, for us during COVID, was it allowed all the acronyms to communicate, a better communicative system, all go in the same direction, each staying in their own lane. I took that to heart, so the LHSA will remain in our own lane when it comes to the athletic piece, but we will listen to Department of Ed, we'll listen to anything that has to do with any of the departments in regards to safety concerns, and then we move forward in that regard. Get the students back in class, then we get them back on the fields and courts, and we move forward accordingly.
Friday night in the booth on the LHSAA Network, Louisiana's only statewide high school scoreboard show. Join us every Friday night at 11 p.m. for scores, highlights, and more. From Bossier to the Bayou, Friday night in the booth showcases the gridiron stars of the future right here on the LHSAA Network.
Buying online is easy, but not when it comes to buying medications. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl. Kids are dying from these fake pills. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin. A lethal dose is smaller than a pencil point. Worse yet, medical professionals can't tell the difference between real pills and their counterfeits. Don't take anything that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back, everyone. A big New Orleans, Baton Rouge area matchup between Brother Martin and East Ascension helped kick off the football season. Brother Martin of the Catholic League won 7 games last fall and made the playoffs. East Ascension won 2 of their last 3 games and looked to build off that momentum in 2024. Here's a closer look at the opener between the Crusaders and the Spartans.
Spartan Stadium in Baton Rouge, the site for tonight's battle. Tough sledding early against the Brother Martin defense as Nathan Malik and Caleb Natividad combine for the tackle for loss. Sophomore back Jeremiah Burton moves the chains with a burst up the middle. This game was 14-6 Crusaders at halftime. Brother Martin tacked on another touchdown in the third, but EA would rally back as Jason Blackburn explodes down the far sideline for a 70-yard touchdown run. The Spartans went for 2 and got it, trailing now 20-14 late in the game. The blue and gold crowd on hand tried to will EA to victory in their opener. Brother Martin marched down the field, and senior kicker Grayson Smith booted a 38-yard field goal to go up by 9. The Crusaders' defense held the Spartans scoreless for the final 6 minutes. Another matchup of Baton Rouge and New Orleans area teams at Tad Gormley saw the Central Wildcats take on the De La Salle Cavaliers. 3 Central players were involved in a car wreck the night before the season opener, including quarterback Jackson Furman and running back Emmanuel Williams. The Wildcats leaned on their defense in the first half, forcing turnovers and getting huge stops on third down. Backup QB Ja'Cory Platt connected on several passes in the first half. De La Salle quarterback Evan Arsenault led his team to a field goal in the second quarter and fed the ball to Eamon Williams, a talented sophomore who goes 5'6", 145. Central sophomore Marvin Joseph will take the handoff from Ja'Cory Platt and move the chains and continue the offense in the right direction. In the second half, KD Mays hands off to Steven Rennell for the goal line score. The big free safety at 6'2", 190 powers his way past tacklers for the game's first touchdown. Turnovers plagued the Cavaliers in the second half, with Central's Blazin Stoken picking off Arsenault with a nifty grab. With the game still tied at 7-3, De La Salle's defense gets a big stop on third down. Sophomore back Marvin Joseph moves the pile, and Central scores from the Wildcat formation once again, going up 14-3. Neither team threw a touchdown on the night, but Central played out of their minds in the second half and closed out the Cavaliers on the road.
Got to first start just talking about the resilience and the toughness and the character of our kids. You know, it's been a rough 28 hours for our football program, and prayer still with Manny Williams, who's in ICU right now, our starting running back, and he's on the mend, and everything's looking good. But you know, these kids played their butts off. Wasn't pretty, and just one of those nights where we were having to shuffle a lot of guys and finding a way to play running back by committee and quarterback by committee, and we played 3 different centers tonight. You know, so. But credit to our kids for just finding a way to win. Defense played lights out, and just, you know, the only points they scored really was when I put them in a bad situation with the fake punt. And I thought that was something we just needed to try and get a spark right there and try and get something going, get some life going on our kids, because we had sputtered so much offensively in the first half. But great night for a lot of these two-way players, man. I mean, shout out to KD Mays and Steve Rennell and Marvin Joseph. I mean, those guys played a ton of snaps. Tashad Sheridan. I think we played 5 different running backs tonight and 3 different quarterbacks, you know. So just a crazy night, man. But so proud of our kids' resilience and the toughness of our kids, and just to find a way.
Brother Martin is scheduled to head up the causeway to face St. Paul's this week. In fact, Brother Martin's first 4 games are all on the road. EA looks to quickly regroup and is scheduled to face Salmon in Slidell. Coming up next, we head over to Lafayette and preview the volleyball season with Turling's Catholic head coach, Terry Hebert. Don't go anywhere. The High School Spotlight is back after this.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Hebert of Turlings Catholic won 8 state championships in a row and has been a regular at the LHSAA tournament over the years. Turlings is coming off another title game appearance last fall. Let's talk with Coach Hebert and see how Turlings is shaping up in 2024.
The LHSAA Network, pleased to be joined by longtime Turlings Catholic volleyball coach Terry Hebert. Terry, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate you having me.
We're all kind of prepping for the storm. Looks like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, man. You caught me at a time we were trying to clean everything up and pick up the debris and get generators rolling. So, yeah, it's a typical August here in Louisiana, huh?
Right,
Or
doing the same thing.
Sorry.
Give us an idea of what's on deck for Turlings in 2024. You guys have just started your season, another tough schedule, but what's on tap?
Well, we just got through. We normally start the season over at the Assumption tournament. We went 3-1, which I was pleased with. Beat some quality teams. St. Joe's is always a tough opponent. Assumption's always a tough opponent. Beat the two of them. Lost a nail biter to Ben Franklin, which is practically the same team that we beat in the semifinals last year by 2, and we lost to them by 2. So, but very high quality opponent, and the girls played well. Had to cancel a couple of games. We were supposed to play tomorrow and Thursday, and so we kind of put that on hold for now and get through this, make sure everybody's safe. But yeah, looking forward to another good season.
Your team is coming off another 30-plus win season. You won a tough district, made the state championship game, and it looks like you're bringing back 6 seniors, so you've got a veteran squad.
Yeah, I do. Of those 6, 3 of them were starting varsity last year, but the other 3 are right there, nip and tuck, ready to roll. Yeah, we were blessed last year. Like I said earlier, we pulled out a nail biter against Ben Franklin in the semis. This group is the group of seniors right now doing a great job leadership-wise. They've always been a group that has kind of struggled with confidence and a little bit of their serving, their passing, some critical skills. But I've watched them kind of develop over the last month, preseason, and then this weekend. Very, very proud of them. We missed 32 serves against Assumption and Lutcher just in 5 sets, which is, I'm not proud to say. And we came back on Saturday morning, probably the best serving team I've had in the 15 years I've been there. So they did a complete turnaround, and for them to be able to do that in a 48-hour period, I was proud of them. But yeah, been working hard, and it's nice to have some veteran leadership up there.
Who are some players at the net, the middle blocker, the outsides that are standing out for you this year?
Well, Thursday, typically we've been an outside heavy team. We had the Gatorade Player of the Year with Cecilia Hidalgo a few years ago, Paige Guidry. We've been pin hitters, but Lily and Ava, and both of them in the middle right now. We tended to have to go to them Thursday night, which is not typical of a Turlings team to run the middle. But the two of them did a great job. Very proud of them. And then I was putting some pressure on our pin hitters to complement our middles, with Sage and Charlie. And the both of them stepped up on Saturday. They answered the call, and I was super surprised and happy with Sage. I mean, Sage has been one that has been very, very gifted, very athletic, just struggles with being consistent. And I think with losing that consistency, she loses her confidence. And she questions herself. But Saturday, man, I didn't know who that kid was. I mean, she was a lot of fun to watch. And Charlie's a returning veteran. So, Ava and Lily doing a great job. And in order to run the middle, if you're familiar with volleyball, you have to have some decent ball control. Mm-hmm. And so that speaks volumes to what our girls are doing back row to get the ball to the setter, to keep it in the system. So, I'm hoping that we continue to complete the package with our right side hitters and kind of be a little more well-rounded and balanced.
A little under 2 months of the regular season remain. Can you talk to me about non-district and district play and how you schedule?
Well, I schedule as tough as I can. It's only going to make us better. I mean, win or lose, I'd rather play somebody and lose. Somebody better and lose and just cakewalk someone. But we're going to be going to the Catholic League tournament in New Orleans, which is always a doozy. Dominican Academy of Sacred Heart, St. Joe's, Cabrini, us. There's always some big heavy hitters there. So we're going to be doing that following, not this weekend, but the next. Like I said, I had to cancel a game with Westminster on Thursday of this week, which I really wanted to make sure we scheduled. We're going to do that in October because they're always a quality opponent. We double dip with Notre Dame every year. We play a home away. They're always a quality opponent, and obviously our nemesis right now, SCM, across the there. We're going to be playing them in district. So, just try to schedule as tough as I can. We're going to St. Joe's the last weekend of September for that tournament, and every quality team in the state's going to be there. So I think that the reason we've had a lot of success over the years is because we've been able to schedule those quality opponents and get tested throughout the year.
Terry, we appreciate you. Give us an update on the program. Keep safe. We'll see you in the near future.
All right, Garrett, you too, man. Stay safe, buddy.
Teurlings has already won 3 matches to start the season and will continue prepping for district play against the likes of St. Thomas More, Cecilia, and several other Lafayette area schools. The LHSAA Volleyball State Tournament runs November 14th through the 16th at the Cajun Dome. For more information, log on to lhsaa.org. We'll wrap up the show on the other side of this break. Stick around.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Power Hour is the newest addition to the lineup on the LHSAA network, featuring in-depth interviews with former LHSAA coaches, student athletes, and Hall of Famers. Tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. only on the LHSAA network.
Airline High School has made a quick turnaround under third-year coach Justin Scoggin, going from 1 win in 2021 to 10 wins last season and an appearance in the LHSAA quarterfinals. The Barb Buccaneers are reloaded as well with 37 players in their senior class. These two teams had an epic first-week bash in Lake Charles.
Airline quarterback Ben Taylor with the pump fake and the touchdown pass to Jarvis Davis. 25 yards on this hookup. The game's going to get crazy with 14 total touchdowns and more than 100 points combined. Barb's quarterback, Jalandon Gray, answered by faking out half the defensive line and then tossing a touchdown pass to number 9 Luke Leger down the far sideline. But it wasn't just the passing game that got on track for the Bucs. Senior running back Eric Jones Jr. ran like a man possessed, blowing through arm tackles for a 40-yard touchdown run. one of 3 Barb touchdowns in the second quarter that tied the game up at 28 going into the half. The Bucks defense forced a turnover, and a 60-yard return for a touchdown was the outcome. Airline rallied behind quarterback Ben Taylor, though, who threw for 490 yards and 4 touchdowns, getting the Vikings in position late to kick a game-winning 23-yard field goal by Ben Chunk. We move indoors, and normally playing in the Superdome is a privilege reserved for those who have made the Prep Classic. But Rummel and Lafayette Christian moved their game due to bad weather. Raiders back Norman Taylor, a 6-foot, 185-pound senior, gets Rummel on the board in what will be a very high-scoring game. Sophomore back Corian Hawkins puts on a nice display of speed and power in Caesars Superdome, getting the Raiders back into the end zone. Hawkins would seal the deal and drive through the defensive line for his first touchdown of the night later in this drive. LCA is looking to replace Gatorade Player of the Year Jawan Johnson at quarterback, and it looks like Braylon Walker is the man for the job. Walker stays patient and finds Braden Allen for the 22-yard pickup on second down, putting the Knights late in position to score. Walker at QB is a 5'11", 160-pound junior, and on this play, after rolling out to his left, Braylon will go airborne at the goal line for the touchdown. Rummel ends up winning the game in the Dome by a score of 42-35. Our final highlights come from St. Charles Parish, where mighty Destrehan hosts reigning Division I champ Catholic High. The Bears had to replace quarterback Daniel Beal and running back Barry Remo. Enter the tandem of Baylor Graves and Parker Ryland. Ryland is separated from the ball at the end of this run, and Destrehan will take over on offense. Wildcats quarterback Jackson Field stands tall in the pocket at 6'2", 200 pounds, and hits Jabari Mack for a quick first down over the middle. The skies opened up on the student-athletes and really dumped a ton of rain on the field. But Fields was determined to keep passing, authoring this brilliant touchdown pass to Johnny Thiel in the corner of the end zone. Destrehan had a 33-game home win streak in the regular season, and the Wildcats' defense worked hard to force Catholic into third and long positions all night. The Bears drove from midfield with just 90 seconds remaining, trailing by 5. Jaden Miles would score his second touchdown of the night and give Catholic the win 23-20 in their season opener.
So the boys from Bossier City come away with a much-needed win in the opener against Barb. Congratulations to both programs. We wish them the best of luck in Week 2 navigating these storms. Stay safe out there, everyone. Listen to your local officials. We'll see you next week with more sports, scores, and highlights right here on the High School Spotlight.